Let me, strangely, start with Savannah Guthrie. Let's go to cut 10, please. This is her speaking to the kidnappers.
We received your message, and we understand. We beg you now to return our mother to us so that we can celebrate with her. This is the only way we will have peace. This is very valuable to us, and we will pay.
So, notice what she said. There's no insults, there's no grandstanding, there's no virtue signaling. It's just this. We want our mother and our grandmother back. Please let her go. It's the only way we can have closure. She's appealing to the humanity of these hostage takers. This is nuts. Why does that work? There's very specific things the FBI has you do. You have to humanize the hostage. That's why I said, please return our mother. Avoid any ego threats. Reduce all escalation. Signal willingness to engage. This is very valuable to us, and we will pay. And then create some sort of bridge back to, reason. Okay? You don't scream at the captor. You don't shame them publicly. You don't say, you're evil, but beyond redemption. You don't do any of those things. Why? Because humiliation cornered is volatility unleashed. The goal of this is not catharsis. It's not to win. It's not to feel superior. It's not to shame them. It's not to tell them how bad they are. The goal is the safe return of the hostage. I am, believe it or not, leading someplace with all of this. So as I'm doing my research on, how do you speak to a hostage? You don't want to live my life, believe me. This series of things that have been studied for a long time, that's the only way back, the only road back from the brink if you're in this situation. But if I put her in any other situation and I said, humanize them, avoid ego threats, reduce escalation, any other situation, you would say, that's what? No, I'm not doing that. That's weak. Are you kidding me? These guys are hostage takers. They're monsters. There's no reasoning with them. A bridge to these guys? That's naive. Okay. I think we all agree kidnappers are really bad. Okay? Really bad. When somebody straps a bomb to their own cause, when they take a life hostage, that's about as far gone as it gets. Yet negotiators who are trying to reach a goal still lower their voice. They still leave the door open. They still search for leverage that changes the behavior rather than satisfying your emotions. Okay? Nobody is saying, hey, talk to them this way because you don't understand them. No. No one's saying surrender. What this is, it's all about tactics. Do you want to feel good for the moment and tell them off? Can you imagine what she really wants to say to these people? Do you really want that moment of satisfaction where you've just said it all to these people? Or do you want to accomplish the goal and save the hostage? Here's where I'm going. Look at everything that is happening in our life. I feel as though our freedoms, our institutions, our country is being held hostage by dangerous ideologies and dangerous actors. Okay? And that feeling is as visceral in me as I think it is for you. And the anger in me on this is so real. I have a hard time tapping it down sometimes because I get so angry at these people. I got to believe in some way like Savannah feels and her family feels. Can you imagine your mother being taken? Why would you do that? What is wrong with you? All of the emotions she's feeling. But if the objective is preservation, not applause, then the tactics matter. So I heard this and I started looking into it and I thought, wow, wait. why do these tactics work with hostage takers, but then we just leave it at that? Look what Donald Trump is doing right now in Minnesota. Did you see? We're cleaning house in Minnesota. We're cleaning house in Minnesota. We're getting the things we wanted done. And they're tracking anybody who's following ICE. They're tracking them. It's all out in the open. When political leaders de-escalate in a moment of tension, or like Trump's administration is doing today, sitting at a negotiating table with people like Iran, how do you do that? You can't believe anything they say. You actually trust them? Yeah, I mean, you want them to survive? No, none of that is the point. None of that is the point. The point is conversation to getting to conversion. A behavior change is the point, or the ability to keep them talking until you got them and you're going in and you're taking them out. Believe me, nobody is saying to Savannah and her family, just talk nice to these people because you don't understand them. You don't blah, 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 blah. They're like, just keep them talking until we can figure out who they are, and we're going to put them in jail for the rest of their lives. Okay? Sometimes the goal of negotiation is not friendship. It's clarity. It's to demonstrate to your citizens and to the world that every peaceful avenue has been exhausted before harder measures were considered. That's not weakness. This is strategic positioning. When it comes to those who have taken our hostage and our institutions hostage, MLK got it. He never confused moral clarity with humiliation. He confronted the injustice, but he didn't seek annihilation. You know, I was talking to the Crown Prince, and you'll hear this. I spoke to him yesterday. We recorded it yesterday after the show, and so you'll hear it in a minute. And I said, how are you going to work? You're going to work with the IRGC, the people who just rounded up 37,000 people? How are you going to do that? And he said, no. I'm going to be very, very careful. I am reaching out to them now and saying, sign up. If you want to pledge that you're not going to be a part of this, that you will not turn against the people of Iran, that you will change sides, you contact us and we'll keep your name on file. But if your name is not on file, if we have it to sort out, it's not going to go well for you. But as he said, you have to have room for return. You have to. Otherwise, you don't survive in any of this. If every political action violates the principles of de-escalation, if every speech increases humiliation, think of what what Joe Biden has said about us in presidential official speeches, where he was, they're worse than the Nazis, all of these things. That is not the way you negotiate with people. It's not. You're not going to persuade anybody. And if you're using language like that, then the goal cannot be reconciliation. It can't be. It can't be that you want to solve this hostage crisis, because you're violating everything that we all know works. So your goal must be isolation and division and destruction, because you don't retrieve a hostage by convincing yourself the captor is irredeemable and telling them that. You retrieve a hostage by creating a path, very, very narrow, for different behavior. You're appealing to their humanity. The end goal is not victory through ruin. The end goal is stability without surrender, strength without escalation, preservation without that permanent fracture. You've got to come back. It has to survive permanent disagreement. Has to. So the question is not whether we fight against these things. The question is, are we fighting in a way that will actually be effective, that leaves a path back? Because if there is no path back, then we're not negotiating for a hostage. We're negotiating for applause. And applause has never restored a divided republic. I want the hostage back. Justice will be served in the end, but we have to start behaving in such a way that Savannah Guthrie just behaved when she was speaking directly to the hostage takers. Appeal to their humanity. Don't cause more harm to push them and anger them even more. But know that justice in the end, justice will be served. But applause and playing to a crowd or just making yourself feel better is actually plays into those who want division and destruction. It plays right into their hands.